Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Lenape High School's People's Choice Awards, sponsored by the Renaissance Club. We appreciate you joining us on this very special evening to honor our amazing students. At this time, we welcome the JROTC Color Guard and senior soloist, Lindsay Frankunas. Please stand for the presentation of the flags and the singing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Lindsay and JROTC. Tonight, we are honoring each nominated student with a medal to commemorate their selection by a Lenape staff member. Staff members were asked to choose someone who has impressed them with their character traits, someone they have a special connection with, or someone that brightens their days. This year has been a challenging one for students and staff, and we're so grateful to have tonight to recognize our nominated students, all of whom make us at Lenape High School proud. Students, this evening when you're recognized and you hear your name, we're going to ask you to come and stand right by this flower pot to meet the staff member that nominated you. I'm going to begin the presentation of the People's Choice Awards winners with my selection. While volunteering at Camp Lenape in August, I met my People's Choice nominee for the first time. He was a student leader helping to introduce incoming freshmen to Lenape High School. A few weeks later, he would be a student in my AP Statistics class. There is no doubt that teaching and learning this year has brought its share of challenges, but my nominee made every day a bit better in our class and brought back to me the joys of being a teacher during this difficult year. He could always be counted on to ask insightful questions, participate, and help others. My nominee was able to find connections about what we're learning about in class to the real world and content in other classes. Whether it was behind a computer screen or in person, he was one of the friendliest, most polite students that I taught this year. This student would always ask how I was doing, say hello, or just chat about life before or after class. He also volunteered recently to demonstrate his martial arts skills during Lenape's first annual Wellness Day. My nominee is the epitome of a well-rounded, successful student. After getting to know him, I now see why he was chosen to serve as a role model for incoming freshmen. He's got a great head on his shoulders, and I'm 100% confident, that's a statistics joke, I'm 100% confident that he has a great future ahead at Lenape and beyond. My People's Choice Award goes to Dylan Sugar. Congratulations, Dylan. I'm now going to bring up Laura Lamberto.
Good evening. Considering my basketball career ended after a lackluster 5th grade season of bench warming for the JV squad out of St. Joan of Arc Elementary School, it may come as a surprise to hear that one of my heroes in this life is the late great coach of the Tennessee Lady Volunteers, Pat Summitt. Coach Summitt, a true trailblazer, cared primarily about identity and was first and foremost a self-professed teacher hell-bent on uplifting and empowering the young women entrusted to her care. And that, despite my very weak jump shot, is a connection I feel with the coach from somewhere deep. 3 years ago, a student who is now quite the exceptional young woman in her own right illuminated both my classroom and my life with her radiant spirit. In a pivotal moment for her that called for some encouragement from someone old and wise, I realized I better go and borrow some words from someone who was actually old and wise. The mantra I shared with her is that of Coach Summitt. Coach said, and fully believed, "It is what it is, but it will be what I make it." And 3 years later, it is my sincere privilege to honor this student for harnessing the powers of perspective and hope as she has made and will continue to make her own original and fierce identity. If you know her wonderful family, you know that perhaps she was genetically engineered to have both a beautiful attitude towards life and the resiliency to put it into practice. Still, it doesn't make it any less impressive that each day she can take what it is and shine her light to make it all good in what is true first team fashion. I've waited 3 years to give this speech, and not just because I was holding out hope that eventually they'd move this event to the football stadium, although that did work out too. Rather, it's because I wanted to wait until she would be in another pivotal moment, weeks away from her graduation, on the cusp of a new chapter, and perhaps in search of some new words from someone old and wise. And since I still take pride in being neither of these things, I get to turn to the coach one last time. And this time, it is with immense pride that I share these profound words, not from teacher to student, as I did last time, but now from teacher to aspiring teacher, and an excellent teacher she will be. When asked about her effectiveness in working with young people, Coach Summitt so eloquently unlocked the secret of what so many of us here tonight try to do day in and day out when she said, "They will never care how much you know until they know how much you care." Therefore, this award, while representing my unyielding amount of respect for my nominee, will hopefully be fuel for her future as she goes forth to embrace her identity as an empowered young woman committed to uplifting herself and others, who always has the confidence to win the game as long as she does what she already does best and was quite frankly born to do. Elizabeth Maschke, the game is yours, girl. Just show them how much you care. Thank you. Up next is Mrs. Wiener.
I'm going to announce my nominee first so he can come up, Mr. Mark Mariello. I'm delighted to announce that my nominee for this year's People's Choice Award is a student that is the epitome of Lenape pride. He is a wonderful example of what it means to have school spirit. Quite simply, he just loves our school. He gets off the bus with a pep in his step and enters our classroom with a smile. He is a good friend to his classmates, celebrating their accomplishments, and also shows genuine concern when someone is upset. He is the first to notice when a friend is absent and wants to make sure that they are okay. When walking the halls, he has the ability to put a smile on so many faces because his own smile is contagious and his laugh is infectious. In the world we live in today, what a wonderful attribute to be able to brighten the day of not only his fellow students, but our teachers, paras, counselors, custodians, security guards, office staff, and administrators. He, without a doubt, makes Lenape a better place, and I get to witness it firsthand every day. And that brings a smile to my face and joy to my heart. My nominee is an enthusiastic supporter of all Lenape athletics and is himself a member of the Lenape track team. He is also involved in other various after-school clubs throughout the school year. He is a happy, well-rounded, well-known student, and I'm confident that he will continue to learn new things and experience life with a smile on his face, thus bringing happiness to those around him. So it is for these reasons and 4 years of more memories, joy, laughter, and stories that I am so proud to present the People's Choice Award to Mark Mariello. Yay, Marky. Thank you. Up next is Mr. McEnany.
So you're stuck with me for 2 readings tonight. My first one, I'm reading on behalf of Mrs. Lamont, who couldn't be here this evening. And just like Mrs. Weiner, I'm going to say the student's name first so they can come up and be recognized. Hopefully a little bit embarrassed, too. So Tymir Watts, come on up. So Tymir, this is from Mrs. Lamont, okay? This year I am pleased to announce that my nomination for the People's Choice Award is a student who I have had the privilege of teaching for the past 3 years. When he joined our program his sophomore year, he was understandably timid and shy, but it didn't take long before he was part of the crew and became a friend to all. It's hard to remember a time before he joined us. He just seemed to fit right in. It's easy to see why he is so well liked among teachers, staff, and peers alike. He can be seen smiling everywhere he goes, the school store, the track, the hallways, and even in the classroom. And that smile can light up a room. He has a great sense of humor, too. He laughs at my jokes, even when they are corny or not that funny. And I remind you, this is Mrs. Lamont, not me. In the classroom, he is hardworking and enthusiastically participates in activities and discussions. Despite some virtual learning challenges, this student was determined to make the best of it. He is friendly, patient, and very considerate of others. He is cooperative and always willing to lend a hand to his classmates. He has been a role model for our younger students by demonstrating positivity, responsibility, and respect. Because of all these wonderful qualities, I will miss him very much next year. But I also know that because of these qualities, he will be successful in anything he puts his mind to in the future. Congratulations, Tymir Watts. You deserve this People's Choice Award.
Good evening, everyone. I will be reading on behalf of Miss Kelly Kemps, who was unable to attend tonight. However, our student recipient, and I'm super happy to read for this student, we're going to call him up and read about him now. Christopher Rodriguez. My People's Choice Award recipient goes to a student who I had the pleasure to work with this year in keyboarding, social studies, and science. In these classes, he was a hardworking student and found great success in his academics. He brought a respectful and fun personality to each lesson, making every day exciting and engaging for everyone. He always makes me laugh, and so do his t-shirts. This senior never shows up without a smile on his face and will always greet me when I enter the classroom. He never hesitates to offer a hand to a student or staff member in need. He is always well-mannered, patient, and polite. I wish him all the best in his future endeavors. Congratulations, Chris. My People's Choice recipient is to Christopher Rodriguez.
Good evening. I'm going to have my People's Choice come up. I'm sure she knows, and she's waiting. Micaiah. Miss Micaiah Murray. I have had the pleasure of teaching my People's Choice recipient for the last 4 years. When I first met her, she was reserved and shy. As the years have gone on, she has come more and more out of her shell, and I have gotten to know her as a caring, funny, hardworking, and sweet young lady. Each day, her one-of-a-kind personality leaves a bright spot on everyone who she talks to. She has so many talents and skills, from excelling in her academic classes to being successful with hands-on activities like cooking, working in the school's trading post, and using many different types of technology. She is a wonderful asset to her classmates. As a loyal and kind friend, she is always willing to help out others. Being a role model for her peers is one of the things that I admire most about this student. Beyond her academic achievements, she has been involved in many activities outside the classroom, such as Lenape Girls Track Team and working as a camp counselor in Mount Laurel School District's summer camp. Her work ethic, kindness, and enthusiastic personality shine through the classroom, the hallways, the track, and everywhere she goes. After experiencing how amazing she has done at Lenape over these last 4 years, I know this is just the beginning of her successful future. Congratulations to my People's Choice Award recipient, Micaiah Murray. And next up we have Mrs. Sang.
What a nice night. Good evening. So nice to be here. This Lenape Super Senior isn't just my personal choice. He's truly the choice of many people because of his bright daily dose of sunshine. And you knew who I mean. So, where's Matt? That's what teachers, employers, job coaches, customers, they ask, where's Matt? But when they don't see Matthew Robert Sorrento's broad smile or hear his sincere, "Hi, may I help you?" they're looking for him. Hi, Matt. Since becoming part of the Lenape family, Matt has mastered 6 different Lenape Regional High School District structured learning work experiences, which translates into jobs. And he's also mastered a full year of remote learning with great success. His enthusiasm, sunny disposition, positive attitude, willingness to learn, and eagerness to work on a wide variety of tasks are all great assets that will carry him into the world of work when he graduates as a Super Senior 2021. We all thank you, Matthew, and wish you continued success in your future. And we thank you for the positive and lasting imprint you've left on Lenape High School. Congratulations, Matthew, on this People's Choice Awards. Next up is Amanda Castle.
Good evening. I'm going to go ahead and call up my People's Choice Award recipient, Mr. Josh Nielsen. Josh is a very conscientious and kind student. He strives to do his very best with his schoolwork and when trying new activities. Josh works diligently in all of his classes and sets a good example for those around him. He loves to have fun, meditate, and he is quite the dancer. Josh is a natural leader and demonstrates this when he leads his classmates with the stretching and deep breathing activities during class. Josh is also so very kind-hearted. He aims to please and wants everyone to be happy around him. Teachers often refer to Josh as their teaching assistant, as he will catch even the most subtle error, like an incorrect date, or remind them of planning a specific classroom activity. Josh is a remarkable young man, and I am proud to call him my People's Choice Award recipient. Congratulations, Josh.
So I'm not going to say the name, but I'll be very disappointed if she doesn't understand who she is after the second or third sentence here. So as a teacher and a coach, I think you develop connections and relationships with your students in a variety of settings. Some teachers get to know their students in the classroom or through clubs and after-school activities. Some coaches build relationships with their players during practices or team meetings. However, this is not the way I became close with my People's Choice nominee. It was through our countless bus rides to all of our sporting events. Come on up, I want them to know who they're embarrassing here. It was during these rides that I got to know Kelly Mizia and began to appreciate who she was as a student, an athlete, and a young adult. First, and most importantly, I learned the hard way 4 years ago that Kelly gets severely motion sick when riding on a school bus. So, with this new knowledge, we quickly developed a few rules and routines for our bus rides to all of our soccer and all of our basketball games. Kelly always got the front seat. It doesn't usually stop it from happening, but it can help delay it. I also learned I have to start packing extra water bottles and plastic bags for the longer bus rides. And finally, Kelly was always the first one off the bus at all sporting events, and she could tell you where the closest set of bushes to any soccer field or gymnasium are in South Jersey. Our bus rides weren't always about motion sickness for Kelly. It's also where we started working on math. She started by asking me for help on her homework, so that quickly developed into making guides, studying for tests, and writing out all the steps for her solutions. We'd hold the paper up high in front of us so we could both pretend like we were looking forward so we could review her material. Through all of her dry heaving, we developed methods that helped Kelly succeed for 4 years of math class. These experiences are all a testament to Kelly's work ethic. She was always striving to get better and to improve, even in a subject that didn't come easy to her. There are also a ton of happy memories and moments from our bus rides together, mostly centered around our music selection for the longest bus rides. Excuse me. Kelly would be so embarrassed if I stood up here and told the story of her serenading our freshman basketball team with her favorite church hymns on the way home from Washington Township. I was treated to about 45 minutes of Kelly's favorites from a Sunday Mass, all on one ride. The bus rides are also where Kelly helped me foster my newfound love of Justin Bieber, but I returned the favor by introducing to her all of the best 80s classics, especially Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up, which she may have heard me sing just a few times. So we've joked about all these experiences on our bus rides for years now, but I bring it up here tonight to highlight her toughness and her commitment. Kelly put herself through hours of personal misery just to be with her teammates. Even after she stopped playing basketball as a sophomore, she spent the last 2 years volunteering as our team manager. She volunteered to get sick on every bus ride just to help me and our teams. She rarely missed a game, but more importantly, she never complained about the bus rides. To me, that says more about her character and dedication than anything else. And that's why I'm proud to have Kelly as my People's Choice nominee tonight. Congratulations, Kelly. Up next is Miss Jen Pfeiffer for the second time.
This nomination is behalf of myself. So I guess I'll bring her up because I know she loves being in the spotlight. So come on up, Kate. This year, I'm pleased to announce that my nomination for my People's Choice Award is Caitlin Schwartz, a student who I've had the privilege of getting to know over the past 3 years. Although she never took retail careers, my nominee will come as no surprise to those who frequent the Trading Post. At the end of her freshman year at Lenape, she approached me about volunteering her time during study hall to work with the retail careers employees. Early sophomore year, she made an immediate impact on her peers as she did not hesitate to help, lend a hand, and break out in dance when necessary. She is a great conversationalist, and she loves to laugh. She is trustworthy, compassionate, and sharp. What I admire most about Caitlin is her old soul. People are just drawn to her, and she is able to make those around here feel special. I've seen this aspect of her personality over the past 3 years amongst our self-contained student population, and this is just one of the many testaments I've observed that supports her positive influence on others. Watching her interact and teach those around her only reinforces the idea that the world is blessed with people who are intended to help and inspire. I believe that once you meet her and experience that which I'm fortunate to know firsthand, we will agree on her innate gifts and the merit she deserves as an exceptional young woman. I sincerely cannot speak highly enough of Caitlin Schwartz, my nomination for this year's People's Choice Award. Congratulations. Next up is Robin Hecht.
Over the past 4 years, I have had the remarkable pleasure of working with 2 wonderful, bold, diligent, and driven students that have taken Lenape to levels never before explored. Through various years of superior performance on the National Latin Exam, to silly moments discussing the authors of yesteryear, these 2 have created moments that will never be forgotten. Jordan Wingate and Victoria Campbell, come on up. They have been rocks for me throughout these past 4 years, including this current turbulent journey. I can always rely on their expertise and enthusiasm in and outside of class. I will never forget the year that they helped lead Lenape to the New Jersey Junior Classical League State Academic Curtamen Championship. Sorry, that's a really long title. My heart burst seeing how their hard work and dedication helped take themselves and their teammates to win the state title. While I was so proud of their achievement, I was more enthralled by their utter joy and determination throughout the entire process. Each moment that I get to spend with them is filled with my constant amazement. I'm amazed at their ability. I'm amazed at their dedication. And mostly, I'm amazed at the joy that they have just to learn and their confidence to share their knowledge. So thank you so much to these two for making these past 4 years so memorable. It's going to feel empty without you. Thank you. Next up, Roseanne Mullen.
Kind, generous, hardworking, and mature are just a few of the traits that come to mind when I think of Justin Cook. I have the pleasure of working with Justin, who is the class of 2022's event coordinator since he was first elected back in September of 2018. He continuously brings fresh ideas for events, fundraising, and community service. He is consistently one of the first to volunteer his time whenever we need help, and he is always willing to aid others in need. Throughout the entire pandemic, Justin, along with his fellow officers, helped to make sure the class of 2022 always felt connected to Lenape. Whether he was creating weekly trivia sessions, leading soft spirit days, representing and encouraging other juniors to take part in Lenape's most recent Spirit Week, or letting us follow him throughout his day for a Takeover Tuesday, Justin is always leading with grace and always has a smile on his face. This past holiday season, Justin showed his selfless compassion for others when he, along with the 2022's Community Service Committee, came up with the idea for the CHOP Pajama Drive. Despite only being in person for 2 days before moving to remote learning, the Lenape community donated over 100 pajamas, which was largely due to Justin's efforts. He also personally collected, wrapped, and delivered the pajamas to CHOP so that those children would have those PJs before the holidays. He is a terrific kid, and it is an honor to know and work with him. My only regret is that he landed in my colleague's AP Psych class instead of mine. I look forward and I'm hopeful that he will be able to serve his class again next year. We are all lucky to have him here with us at Lenape. Next up, Mr. Tony Guerrera.
Kyrie Council, can you come forward? Kyrie, I know you're used to excelling on the field we're standing on right now, but everybody's about to find out how well you excel in the classroom. My People's Choice recipient this year is a young man that comes to school every day, ready to learn, is constantly contributing to class discussions, and is a role model for his peers. I've been teaching history for a long time. However, this young man brings a unique perspective to so many different historical events and topics that even after all of these years teaching the same subject, he has managed to teach me new and interesting ways to interpret the things that happen in this world. His insight has not only impacted me, but I will now use his powerful perspective as part of the lessons that I will teach to my future students for many years to come. Kyrie Council, you are an impressive young man, and I am proud to present you with this year's People's Choice Award. Our next presenter is Miss Sarah Allen.
Hello. If you know me, I tend to be a little long-winded, so just bear with me, but I have a great nominee. As challenging and inconsistent as this year's school has been, I must admit that I'm not looking forward to next year for no other reason than the fact that I will no longer cross paths with my nominee in the halls of Lenape. Even though I know she will be crushing it in college in September, I will undoubtedly fill a void without her genuine hellos, her conversations about life, love, and our favorite TV shows, her relentless desire to win Trivia Tuesday, which finally happened this year, and her weekly Happy Fist Bump Friday messages. And I'm sure she knows now, but for everyone else, Kaylee Christ is my most deserving People's Choice recipient. Kale, as I've come to call her, walked into my sophomore English class 3 years ago as a pleasant, respectful, and hardworking young lady. One of the first things I noticed about her was that regardless of how her day was going, she came into a class wearing a smile and left with a smile. When she passed you at random times of the day, she would of course offer up the same sweet smile. In class, regardless if she was asked to write, present, act out the crucible, draw, make videos, or complete one of my silly holiday activities, she gave 110%. The next year, as I scanned by rosters, I was overjoyed to have her in class again. Kale, you make teaching easy, but that's not why you are standing here with me tonight. You are here because over the course of the last 3 years, you've made me a better teacher, and more importantly, a better person. I can't tell you how many times you made my days brighter just by being you. You've reminded me to always give my best, no matter how small the task, and that with hard work, anything is possible. You encouraged me to stay positive during the COVID quarantining days with your weekly emails, and you've inspired me to be kind and to appreciate those around me. You've matched my enthusiasm for my cheesy Fist Bump Fridays, which is something I will never forget. You've made me laugh numerous times, including by trying to catch Frank during virtual Trivia Tuesdays and by accidentally sending me unfinished emails due to AP stress. And you've helped lessen my aversion to clowns just a little. Most importantly, though, you've reminded me what it means to be a teacher, especially during a difficult year. You once sent me a message telling me I was a light to those around me at Lenape, making their days brighter and better. In my eyes, as a teacher, this is one of the greatest things a student has ever said to me. So thank you. And you've done the exact same for me. I can honestly say that one of the highlights of this year has been bumping into you during the school day. I'll miss that next year. Although I could go on and on about how you're amazing, we're supposed to keep these short. So I'll end with some words of advice for you. As you venture into life after high school, be true to yourself. Your heart is one of a kind, and those around you will be better because of you. Try not to stress out. The skills you've worked so hard to acquire and the talent you possess will get you most of the way. The relentless effort and hard work you put into everything that you do will get you the rest of the way. Never let the Mrs. Steeles of the world hold any power over how you feel. You've proven their words have zero value. And always remember the things you've reminded me of, that genuine passion, kindness, appreciation, and hard work are priceless, but so very valuable. And of course, make time to have some fun. I will miss you dearly at Lenape in the years to come, but never forget you are exceptional and unforgettable, and I'm so, so proud of you, Kale.
I'm Kate DeSantis. Welcome, everybody. Tonight, I want to tell two stories about my nominee, Julia Garcia. I first met Julia her freshman year, not as a student, but when she joined the Science League. She was quiet, very shy, and when she came to the first meeting, I really didn't know what to expect. And prior to our competition season, We have a holiday party for the 80 members with activities and games. And do you remember, Julia? One of the activities involves giving groups a bag of decorations, and one member is decorated. And Julia was decorated as a Christmas tree, if I remember. The group of freshman girls won the prize, and I saw then a very subtle change in her confidence. And she went on to be the top scoring individual in her first meet against 7 other schools, leading her team to a winning score as well. And after 4 competitions, Julia's team earned state ranking, and Julia was a leading individual. And I learned her freshman year that Julia was, while quiet, is conscientious, reliable, smart, and a fierce competitor. Last year, a student approached me about participating in the Science Olympiad. Our school had never participated, and I naively agreed. And once I explored what was involved, I was quite literally overwhelmed. 17 different events with topics and tasks that had nothing to do with any content that's taught. One of the topics was ornithology. Julia volunteered to captain that team because she likes birds. And this required Julia to learn details about the entire 2020 North American bird list: specimens, songs, skeletal materials, photographs. She organized the study approach and schedule with another student. On the day of the regional competition, none of us had any idea what to expect. This was our first time competing at this level in this format. We were competing against top regional public and private schools, many of which had been competing for years and had clubs and classes dedicated to training for this event. Julia and her teammate came in 4th and qualified for the state competition. Here they went up against the absolute elite and came in 10th overall in the state. And to say this was an outstanding achievement would be an understatement. So why am I sharing these stories with you? Because they illustrate Julia's many gifts. She's an intellectual powerhouse, but unassuming and humble. She's generous with her knowledge and empowers others. She's an effective leader, able to motivate others by example. She has grit, determination, and the ability to see things through, no matter how difficult or challenging the task. She is kind, gentle, with a fierce drive, and an insatiable curiosity. This year, I'm privileged that Julia is a student in my genetics class, and I see the same attention to detail, the same drive to succeed, and the same ability to work with students of every ability effectively. It's people like Julia who make me look forward to coming to school each day. And if I must let her graduate and move on to Boston College, my wish is that she continues to keep believing in herself and surrounds herself with friends who will all lift each other up. Congratulations, Julia. And I'd like to introduce Mr. Stephen Hand.
All right, so first off, guys, if we could just look at this dais. These are the rock stars of Lenape High School. I look out here, I see Aday Singh, Sean Kennedy, Hannah N., Trey Rice, Carolina Moll, Jalen Walker, Mark Maiorolo, Tymir Watts. These are the kids that every day make our job worth it. They're amazing. Just if you give yourselves a round of applause as well. These guys, what you've done, thank you so much. Thank you guys for making this year as great as possible. One of my rock stars, and I had a lot of them this year, and my People's Choice nominee is Mr. Matt Alexander. During a year where we had Wi-Fi issues, I had to learn the difference between Internet Safari and Google Chrome, which was really, I had no idea. Matt Alexander made my year very enjoyable. Whether it was distracting me from Philadelphia Sixers every day in class, as I start my lesson, helping his peers decide, hey, Mr. Hand needs a little 10-minute distraction. What do you think about Joel Embiid last night? He succeeded every day. Every day he succeeded. Thanks, Matt. I first met Matt 7th grade basketball camp, and right away the three things that stood out right away were his intelligence, kindness, and leadership. I was blown away immediately. This year, just today, he actually convinced the student to transfer from his college to go to Florida with him this year. He was going to go to Loyola. Next year, he's going to go to Florida instead. I hope that means Matt's going to be a great recruiter and a coach one day. That's what I'm hoping for a little bit. Matt, I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to miss your personality, humor, and thoughtful questions each day. To keep it simple, thank you for being you and making this year as wonderful as possible. Thank you, Matt. I'm looking forward to you at the year of Florida next year. Chop, chop. Next up is Mr. Porco.
Giving a People's Choice Award to a Pittsburgh Penguins fan can mean one of two things. I overestimated my Flyers and lost a bet, or the recipient of this prestigious award is truly impressive enough for me to overlook his affinity for my least favorite team in the NHL. In Lucas Christ's case, it's the latter. Lucas's strength in the classroom is unquestioned. Lucas's passion for history is evident. The enthusiasm he expresses for the topics each day enriches the class. However, the positivity he conveys doesn't conclude at the end of the class period. A scheduling change at the beginning of second semester resulted in Lucas and me sharing the same route to the North Building during passing time between classes. The conversations we have had during the 2 to 3 minutes we share as we traverse the school have been daily highlights. Whether it is movie recommendations that relate to the unit on American expansion, sharing obscure historical facts such as how there could have been a Battle of Mount Laurel during the American Revolution, or comparing the coaching decisions of NHL legend Roger Neilson, who was a Flyers coach, to constitutional loose constructionists, I know I'll always leave the conversation completely impressed by his intellect and amiable nature. Congratulations. The next presenter is, finally, Sergeant Mondelli.
Good evening, Lenape family. Good to see everyone here this evening. Before I announce my pick, I just wanted to thank the Renaissance Club for sponsoring this award and giving me the opportunity to represent an amazing student and cadet. That said, Chelsea May Augustin, come forward, please. Since her first week in JROTC, Chelsea made it clear that she was going to be a superstar. Small in stature, but mighty in presence, Chelsea immediately set herself apart from her peers by being a leader in the classroom and by always setting an example for others to follow. Chelsea is relatively new to this country, having recently moved here from the Philippines. Despite facing cultural and language barriers, Chelsea never failed to demonstrate a level of personal courage rarely seen from a cadet of her age or at her experience level, by never backing down from a challenge and never missing an opportunity to be a leader. That is why she is my People's Choice Awards winner. Congratulations.
I'm Mrs. Novello, and this is short and sweet, just like my nominee. Come on, Carolina. All right, this was not a difficult decision. I have known Carolina since she was a freshman in my computer applications class. I remember her and her friends who all sat quietly together doing their work. The next year, I was lucky enough to have her again in my graphic presentations class. This year, I really got to know her. This class was a little more rambunctious and needed a little more attention, which most teachers know. You get to know the kids a lot better that way. I would often ask her for help with labeling and tagging yearbook pages, even though she was not an official yearbooker. Sadly, her junior year, Carolina was not in one of my classes, but she stopped by a few times a week just to say hi. However, during her senior year, Carolina was brave enough to sign up for my animations and interactive web design class. I am really honored that she was willing to sign up for such a challenging course during her senior year. Carolina works hard to learn new and difficult topics, all while keeping her friends on task, which is not an easy feat. Carolina, believe it or not, I will miss you next year, and of course, I will let you know if I need help with your book. Mrs. Hodgelick is next.
Congratulations to each and every one of you. My nominee tonight is Noelle Klavner. My students are great this year, really. They're quite incredible and inspirational. In a year like no other, they have shown both resiliency and flexibility. So I knew when I took a leave of absence, I was asking even more of them. By the time I announced my leave to the last class of the day, my voice was cracking. Later that evening, I got the nicest, most caring email from senior Noelle Klavner. She shared some great news with me, wished me well, sent me a couple of photos to cheer me. Here is a senior losing so much and yet still giving. My heart was touched beyond words. I have thought of that gesture many times since, and it inspires me every time. And now, Noelle, as you realize this spring really is not the spring you had hoped for, and your senior school days seem to be dragging on forever. I hope that in these final days, I can still offer some moments of joy for all of you, as you did for me. Thank you, Noelle. And the next presenter is Mr. Jason Perez.
My People's Choice nominee tonight is also my son's favorite football player, Jalen Walker. Ask anyone who knows Jalen Walker, and they will say 3 words: great young man. I met Jalen through football and had the pleasure of watching him grow and lead others on this very field as well as in the classrooms. As a captain of our football team, Jalen always made time to mentor and help coach up our younger players. His leadership and positive disposition are just as apparent in school. Over the years, several teachers made it a point to tell me how much they enjoyed Jalen in class, expressing how Jalen's willingness to participate and take chances helped move the lessons forward and encouraged his classmates to do the same. Most people know that Jalen, his siblings, and mother lost a father and husband in the fall of his junior year. Such a heavy loss and sudden loss would cripple most people. Being the great young men his mother and father raised them to be, Jalen and his brother Jordan used this loss as fuel to push themselves even harder to succeed. Such resilience and courage is a mark of greatness. Jalen Walker embodies characteristics that we hope to instill in our own children. Jalen Walker is my People's Choice nominee because of his maturity, empathy, integrity, and passion for something bigger than himself. Jalen Walker.
Hi, I'm Maureen Hilbold. This student has been a ray of sunshine since she walked into Lenape as a 9th grader. She always comes into every room with a smile on her face, and she takes on every task as if it is a new and exciting adventure. Although her senior year hasn't been quite what she was hoping for, she has managed to keep that smile on her face even through the mask. Clariana Lani is a hardworking student who has pushed herself academically throughout her time at Lenape, and her positive attitude and hard work will ensure she finds success at Westchester University in the fall. I can't wait to see you, all that you accomplish, and don't forget to always bring the sunshine. Next up is Ms. Cambriana Corona.
It is my absolute pleasure to give my People's Choice to an outstanding student and person, Ade Singh. I've had the opportunity to work with Ade for the last 3 years as a staff advisor for No Place for Hate, and have watched him demonstrate not only phenomenal leadership, dedication, motivation, and respect, but also incredible kindness. Although he and I had not interacted before this club, he was friendly and welcoming, and immediately engaging in conversation, and of course with lots of jokes. Ade has a personality in which he is able to connect with others and demonstrate a genuine care and interest in them. He often takes the time to understand others as well as their perspectives, and works constantly to better himself so he can make a positive difference for others. He consistently educates himself on events, past and present, and shares his ideas and opinions in such a respectful way that you cannot help but to listen intently and have a desire to further your own learning. Ade is the type of student you encounter very rarely, if ever, in your career, and I am beyond grateful that I've had the opportunity to work with him in such a great capacity. Ade is a great person who will truly change the world for the better. I cannot wait to see all the wonderful things he accomplishes in his bright future, because there is no doubt there will be many successes. Next up is Miss Danielle O'Brien.
Hi, good evening. This has been probably the most fun I've had this school year, keeping this from this student. Every staff member that knows her has come up to me this week. Did you nominate her? Did you? Because she has been dying to know. My People's Choice Award is Julia Hollander. Over the course of her 4 years in high school, Julia continued to amaze me with her perseverance. There were many instances when she easily could have taken the easy way out with her coursework. Instead, she chose the challenging path. Every spring, when it was time to choose classes for the next year, she would up her academic choices and takes the next level. Julia worked hard every day to be successful academic, and her transcript reflects her hard work. When I first met Julia, she was an 8th grade student at Harrington, timid and nervous about what the next 4 years would bring. Julia has been a bright light since she stepped into Lenape High School. Being able to watch her grow into the amazing young woman that sits here tonight has been remarkable. I will miss our daily discussions and her witty sense of humor. I wish her success in all of her future endeavors. My People's Choice Award goes to Julia Hollander. Next up is Jackie Donaldson.
Good evening, everybody. And I agree with Mr. Hand. There's some amazing people out here today. These students are wonderful. I really do. They're amazing. I'm going to miss so many of you. But I'd like to call up Erica Aurora. So this student has been a pleasure to teach this year. And it's been a challenging year. And at times, we really struggled to stay connected with our classes. And Erica always made it easy. She was engaging, she was responsive through every lesson. And when we came back into the classroom, we had our faces covered, and our eyes took on a lot of our communication. And I want to thank you, Erica, for having very expressive eyes. It made the lessons easy. She's also a field hockey player, so is my daughter, and sharing the ups and downs of an unusual season and college searches has been a pleasure. Students like Erica are really what make teaching a passion and not just a profession. And this is why Erica is my People's Choice. I'd like to introduce Miss Natalie Sora.
My People's Choice Award could honestly be split among so many of my students and colleagues. Many have risen to the challenge to adapt and adjust to a year that has kept all of us on our toes. As I can only choose one, I can say without hesitation that my nomination goes to Jessica Mulligan. Jess is a junior at Lenape, and I've known her since freshman year. She made her mark from day one when she entered my individual studies classroom and asked if she would have the opportunity in my class to write for fun. I knew that Jess would not be like any of my other students, and this is how she lives her life. Jess is not one to follow the crowd, but sets the mood of a room as soon as she walks into it. She is an individual that exudes positivity and a passion for human connection. Education is not something that always comes easy for Jess, but she works with integrity, faces challenges head-on, and values personal growth. This week, Jess was inducted into the National Honor Society, and this achievement was well earned. I know that I speak for your family and teachers alike when I say that we are so proud of you. Outside of school, Jessica recently started working at a retirement community where she is already a favorite among the residents. I share this to reiterate that her compassion and care for others is something that our world can use more of. Jessica hopes to become a teacher one day, and to borrow one of her favorite actions, I don't have to cross my fingers to know that she will be wonderful. Jess, as you close out your junior year and begin to embark on many adventures to come, may you continue to live life with your whole heart.
Hello, I'm Dina Tarilla. My People's Choice Award goes to this year is Sierra Singleton. It's a tough decision choosing one student to highlight for the school year when you come in contact with so many. I met my People's Choice nominee at the beginning of this school year. She is so positive about everything and everyone. She is involved in debate club and color guard, which I know keep her busy, but that never prevents her from excelling in school and class. Without a doubt, she has consistently been one of the hardest working students that I have come across. She provides insightful questions and opinions in class, It is obvious that she wants to succeed and do the best she can. Sierra has a great outlook on life, and I know she will do well in whatever she does. Thanks. And next up is Mr. DeJulius.
My People's Choice Award nominee is Nick Golden. If you asked me 3 years ago if Nick would ever be my People's Choice Award nominee, I would have unequivocally said no. He was making poor decisions and was in my office far too often. In fact, Nick didn't talk to me for almost a year because he was mad at me for holding him accountable for his actions. Despite his disdain for me, I knew that Nick was better than the behavior he was exhibiting, and I was determined to see him succeed. Nick has overcome great adversity in his life, far too much for a young person his age. However, what I admire most about Nick is that he never lets these unfortunate events break his spirit. Nick helps his mom take care of the house, is an excellent big brother, and works 40 hours per week, all while trying to keep up with his schoolwork. After he graduates, Nick hopes to enroll in an HVAC program and eventually pursue a career as an HVAC technician and real estate agent. Nick has the instincts to be successful in working with people, and I am certain he will be a leader in the field. Nick recently got a new tattoo that says, "Only the strong survive." The strongest people are not those who show strength in front of us, but those who win battles we know nothing about. Keep winning your battles, Nick. Congratulations. And more unfortunate news, Mr. Suffin is not able to join us this evening. Therefore, I am pleased to introduce his People's Choice Award nominee. Mr. Suffin writes, "For my nomination, I have chosen Trey Rice." Come on up, Trey. There are many reasons I chose Trey. I would like to name a couple. I have only met a handful of students in 20 years at Lenape that have the calming presence no matter how good or bad a situation is. Trey never gets too upset at a situation or scenario. Trey always has a smile and positive outlook on any situation. I also want Trey to know people like myself see the good he brings to others. He is known as an outstanding athlete, but off the field is a kind and caring person. Trey also makes time to see my kids on the sidelines and have conversations with them. I also know that in school, Trey makes connections and relationships with all kinds of staff and students. I am extremely honored to have met and coached Trey Rice. Congratulations, Trey. Up next is Jody Stansberry.
Good evening. It's freezing out here, but it warms my heart to be at this event every year. And I love all the kids here. I probably know 3/4 of the kids sitting out here. But my People's Choice tonight is Bernadette Feel the Burn Carney. Come on up, Bernie. Bernie refers to me as triple threat. Triple threat. She can't get away from me. I am her tennis and golf coach, as well as her health and physical education teacher and her NHS advisor. Bernie is a special person and a fierce competitor. Hence, Feel the Burn, given to her by our tennis team. I admire Bernie for her hard work ethic and her passion to be the very best that she can be. She reminds me a little of myself. She's an excellent student who always participates, no matter how early in the morning we have class. She always has her camera on, and she always participates in discussion without being prompted. I look forward to seeing Bernie every day, in the classroom, on the courts, on the course, or during an NHS event. I am most proud of Bernie for being an individual who thinks for herself, who is an upstander, a positive role model, and respected young adult. Bernie will be a success in whatever she does, and I'm looking forward to working with her during her senior year. Thank you. Congratulations, Bern. And now, I'd like to introduce Mrs. Robin Webb.
Good evening. My People's Choice recipient is Celine Al-Kaffouf. Celine, where are you? Celine has been a student of mine for the last 2 years. I was thrilled when I saw her name again on my roster in the beginning of this year. I have learned during our time together we have a few things in common. We are both the eldest children in our families, and we love shrimp and seafood. As a former ESL student, reading comprehension when we were working on solving word problems was challenging at times for Celine. That makes the course even more difficult when you must understand what you are reading and set up and solve a math problem. It, however, did not deter Celine. Whether we were in person, remote, hybrid, or in person again, Celine was and still is one of my hardest working students. She is always smiling and striving to do her best. She knows how important it is to advocate for herself, so she makes sure to see me for extra help when she needs clarification on what we have been doing in class or just wants to know where she lost any points on a quiz as to not make the same mistake twice. Celine, I wish you the best of luck as you look towards graduation in the next few weeks. Our next presenter is Mrs. Claudia Wolf.
Good evening. Let's give it up for my People's Choice recipient, Kayla Person. I've gotten to know Kayla over the past 4 years, but unfortunately, not many people at Lenape have had the privilege to get to know her like I have. See, this is because Kayla has spent much of her high school career on home instruction due to health limitations. With aspirations of attending school dances, trips, in-person learning last year after earning a good bill of health, COVID took these experiences away from her. She made the tough decision to stay home this school year so not to risk COVID, which would surely be devastating to someone already susceptible to upper respiratory illnesses like Kayla. Kayla's home instructors, current teachers, and I all agree she is the most positive, inspiring, and enthusiastic student despite the challenges she faces daily. I am nominating her because she deserves recognition for her bright spirit, will to make positive change in our world, and strong desire to advocate for the mental health and physical health of others. Also, on a side note, Kayla wrote a children's book called The Adventures of Oreo Cookie and the Bow Wow Squad, which can be purchased on Amazon today. Congratulations, Kayla. Now I'd like to bring up to the podium Miss Jamie Falver.
All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you for everyone being here and braving the cold. It's hard for me to believe that my People's Choice nominee is only a freshman, as she has become an integral member of the debate team and politics club, and I look forward to her enthusiasm and genuine interest at each meeting. I have been impressed all year with how much she cares about academics, about improving her skills and abilities, and about how much she cares about others and the world. My People's Choice nominee is Madison Snover. I've been lucky to get to know Madison through these clubs, as well as the virtual Moby Dick Marathon weekend. She's one of the most genuine students I have ever met, and she's also one of the most dedicated and reliable members. This year has definitely presented unique challenges for clubs, and the debate team being virtual. But Madison did not let that diminish her enthusiasm or her participation. For the debate team, Madison was often the first one to the meets, and many times the last one to leave. She often reached out to me with questions because she wanted to improve her debate and analytical skills. She always worried more about her team than herself, putting others first, and was always willing to step in and debate wherever she was needed for a competition. I am so happy that Madison is only a freshman, because I hope I'm lucky enough to have her as part of my team and activities for 3 more years. Thank you, Madison. And now I'd like to introduce Mr. John Carnavale.
All right, good evening. Unfortunately, I don't think my nominee is present tonight, so I'll read her speech for the recording. My People's Choice Award for 2021 goes to Ayana Yaya Govin. I have the pleasure of having Ayana in 2 classes this year. Despite life's circumstances and challenges, Ayana always logs into class with enthusiasm and a positive attitude. She's worked very hard this year to keep up with assignments and to improve her grades. In Spanish class, we can't officially start class without her very enthusiastic good morning greeting. She is super competitive in Kahoot and any other online review games, and she brings a lot of fun and a good spirit to our class. Ayana, thank you for making my day just by being you. Students like you are why I love my job and enjoy coming to work every day. It has been a pleasure having you in my classes and helping you with your schoolwork. I look forward to seeing you in person next year. Congratulations. And next up is our athletic trainer, Mr. Kyle Nicastro.
I hope within the first couple sentences of this, he knows who I'm talking about and he comes up. The student sustained a serious injury 2 years ago. It required immediate reconstructive surgery. Extensive physical therapy and rehab followed shortly. During that entire process, it'd be easy for anyone to get down and lose motivation, but not this student. He showed up each day with a smile on his face and ready to tackle whatever I had planned. He accepted the adversity and worked hard every day to achieve his goal of returning to playing time for lacrosse season. In fact, over the last 4 years that I've gotten to know him, with the exception of the night that he was injured, I don't think he's had a bad day. Whether it be our weekly fantasy football discussions, analyzing NFL combine and draft results, or just talking all things sports, his joyful and optimistic attitudes are contagious to anyone and everyone that interacts with him. I'm extremely grateful to have gotten to know this student very well and witness him turn into a terrific young man with a bright future ahead of him. I am proud and honored to announce my People's Choice, Sean Kennedy.
All right, good evening. I'm Mrs. Francois. All right, so Cassie is the first person that came to mind when I had the opportunity to nominate a student for this award. She is the type of student that just lights up a classroom. Cassie has many wonderful qualities besides how smart and capable she is in her academic pursuits.
She is the type of student that sets an example for her classmates, brings a vibe of positivity to the classroom, and easily takes on a leadership role. I love that she always comes to class prepared and willing to meet any challenge. Cassie is a warm and genuinely caring person. She has a great sense of humor and gets along with everyone. For me, and I believe for many of the students in our class, she has been like a ray of sunshine in an often cloudy school year.
Good evening and welcome everyone. Now, I'm not usually a rule breaker. My students can definitely tell you that. But in this unprecedented year, I did pick two winners, Casey Nyman and John Dishert. Quietly cool, wise beyond their years, insightful, confident, kind, and fierce are a few of the words that come to mind when I think of my People's Choice nominees. I have been lucky to have both student nominees in my classroom over the past 3 years. First in Fashions 1 and 2, and then this year in Interior Design. Now, we all know that this is not how we pictured their senior year to go. However, they both made the best of it and did not lower their expectations or fail to meet mine throughout this unique and challenging time. They continued to show up, sometimes smiling, sometimes tired, but always participating and never disappointing me. They both continued to do an excellent job being creative, diligent, unique, and awesome. I admire both of my nominees for appearing quiet, calm, cool, and collected, but also for very much being their own people with strong ideas and opinions who always manage to remain respectful and supportive of each other and their classmates. John Dishert and Casey Nyman are my People's Choice winners this year. I couldn't be prouder to say that John's attending my alma mater, Jefferson, and that Casey is pursuing a career in the fashion field. Congratulations, Casey and John.
Good evening. At this time, I would like to invite Maddie McMonigal up to the stage. Passionate, hardworking, resilient, and extremely focused are all words that come to mind when thinking about this particular student. I've had the pleasure of working with this student for the past 2 years as a counselor and club advisor, and have seen her tremendous growth, self-confidence, and passion for life shine through in all that she has accomplished in her time at Lenape thus far. One way in which I have seen this student shine is in her work with Lenape's brand new Wellness Center. A major goal for us this year has been to promote the space throughout our school community. This particular student has been instrumental in helping us with this task. She has gone above and beyond to reach out to students, join our group activities, and has given us a social media platform to help promote the space. She has been selected this year as one of our wellness ambassadors and has taken on any project or task we have asked of her with focus, direction, and enthusiasm. What I admire most from this student is her no-fear mentality. I saw this firsthand with her work on Wellness Day, where she volunteered to showcase her own experience with stress. She talked so openly about the struggles she has faced and gave a voice to others. She has a real passion for helping fellow students succeed and continuously sets a good example for those coming to Lenape in the future. As a result of all of these attributes and all of the hard work she has accomplished throughout her 3 years at LHS, I am nominating Maddie McMonigal as my People's Choice nominee for 2021. I know Maddie will continue to be a great asset, leader, and positive role model at Lenape High School and all of her future endeavors. Congratulations, Maddie. And up next, I'd like to invite Miss Jackie Komet.
When the nominations for People's Choice Award came out, I knew immediately that I was going to nominate Samantha Samunka. Samantha is someone who inspires me, and we just had a conversation yesterday about who could have nominated me for People's Choice. So I've had the pleasure of knowing Samantha for the past 4 years. She is someone I truly enjoy talking with and puts a smile on my face. I know when we talk, she will be honest and sincere. She has not had the easiest time in high school, but she plugs away and does her best to get through those tough days. I have the utmost respect for her, and because of this, she was immediately my People's Choice Award. Love you, Sam. Thank you. And up next is Mrs. Stephanie Fox.
All right, first of all, I have the honor of presenting for Miss Bissarella, who cannot come in today. I'm thrilled to present to her nominee because he was my close second, Sean Moynihan. He would also come in my class every game day for basketball. I was like, hey, Miss Fox, it's game day. Best part of the basketball season was pep band. So this is from Miss Boos. Have a good day, Miss Boos. That's what Sean says at the end of every class period. He says this when he's in the room. He says this when he's remote. He makes a point of connecting with me every single day, and that means something. In this digital world and in this bizarre hybrid setting, connection is more rare than ever. As a teacher who thrives on the relationships I foster with my students, I've struggled in the last 14 months. We are all trying, all showing up as best we can from faculty and staff and students alike, but it isn't the same. I sometimes forget it isn't the same with Sean on my roster. He has his camera on when remote. He participates actively and respectively no matter what, and he always takes a few extra seconds to wish me a good day and everybody else he ever runs into. He's also demonstrated maturity by communicating his own missteps or stresses this school year. He never seeks exceptions to the rules. He just seeks understanding. That is commendable. I feel lucky Sean is my student this year and hope he'll still throw some daily well wishes my way next school year. Congratulations, Sean. All right, and now for my nominees. Wow, what a year. Teaching from home was brutal and isolating, and coming back was only just a little bit better because I have freshmen and they mostly hid behind their masks. The struggle was real trying to break through to them. But then, every day, I had a visit from a terrific, bubbly former student. And yes, I said every day because you have to remember, in the beginning we were hybrid, and the kids only came in every other day. How lucky for me that these two friends, my students from last year, are in different parts of the alphabet. So Ryan Foley and Maddie Schwartz, come on down. So I got a visit from one of them every single day, usually multiple times a day. The three of us had conversations daily, Just sometimes it had to be relayed to the one who wasn't in school a little bit later. So, my current students saw that their teacher is more than just a voice on the computer screen. Students actually come back to see her and just have all kinds of conversations, most of them consisting of finding about the girls' hilarious antics. Yeah, we won't talk about that one. These two always got other students engaged in class. We would do labs, and they would ask the questions others were thinking. Virtually impossible to get these two embarrassed. They just go all in everything they do, and they push each other, like going to the gym and not taking no for an answer when one does not want to go. They would work with anyone and everyone. They really helped create the class environment of acceptance and working together. They drew Snoopy on my board and just had to do better than each other. So my class opener, again, getting my classes involved, was voting for the best one. So one class felt sorry because they know both of these girls, and she had no votes. So she got a few pity votes. See, they just draw people together with their friendliness and fun, silly personalities and kindness. One of them did not going to the gym class, and I don't understand that one at all. But she told me there is a really shy kid in class, and she does not mind making a fool of herself and just kept engaging this person. Success. He now talks to her, and guess what? Gym class is fun. It was a no-brainer that Maddie Schwartz and Ryan Foley were going to be my People's Choice for this year. They are two special young ladies, and I'm so glad I had the pleasure of having the two of them in class together last year, and they still come to hang out with me. Oh, and Ryan, what's for dinner? And next up is Miss Mary Palace.
I have 4 kids, but 2 sets of 2. 2 are freshmen. In this year of uncertainty, it has been my honor to have both Aaliyah and Destiny Vincent. It was hard to pick which one to choose from for my Teacher's Choice. They're identical twins. Luckily, I have them in 2 different classes. Otherwise, I wouldn't know who's who. So I picked both. They both are very outgoing students. They exemplify what a student should be: inquisitive, outgoing, curious, proud of their work, hardworking, and they show you what they want to learn and understand. They are not afraid to have a Google Meet for an extra hour trying to understand a topic. They ask questions and are always participating, which makes it a treat to have them in class. I could go on, but I don't want to give them a big head. I have often told them how much I, as a teacher, appreciate their efforts and are being active learners. They have really made it a joyful year for me. Destiny and Aaliyah Vincent. I'll meet you over there, guys. My next 2 are seniors, Monty Patel and Julia Landick. Monty and Julia can say, what can I say? You two have been a great help in the last 4 years. As freshmen, they had me as their honors biology teacher. I guess I didn't scare them away. Excuse me. As surprisingly, sophomore year, they came back to visit, shared their smiles and stories, and helped set up labs and just laugh. My room became their lunch and learn spot and a place for them to sit and study. I still have the notes of cheering up that Monty left on my desk. They could act as a role model to students that I had at the time to encourage them, and they also supported me by telling other students how lucky they were to have me. I just let them know how much I appreciated all of their visits and checking in on me over the years. This year they are leaving Lenape for the next adventure, and I wish them all the success. And what they already know is that I promised they would stay till they were seniors, and I did. Thank you, guys.
So as I was sitting there, guys, I have to tell you, there's so many of you that I could have picked that I'm hoping tomorrow, you know I love a good poll, you guys come in and tell me who thought I picked you, because there's 10 of you at least that would have been on my list. So let me just start by saying this student is hardworking, dedicated, kind, funny, enthusiastic, and consistent. And these are just a few terms I could use to introduce my People's Choice nominee, because I have to keep it simple. Never have I ever seen him without a smile on his face and a pep in his step. Even at 6:30 a.m. in the Dunkin' Donuts line, after having finished an hour or hour and a half swim practice, I heard a cheerful, "Hi, Sharpie," and now he knows who he is. So let me introduce Sean Vizard. I really wasn't going to cry tonight. Sean, I did not just pick you because you got my Nikki Sharpie to somewhat stick, okay? Not because you know that I love swimming since my kids swim, or even because you might at some point be semi-TikTok famous, or your new title of Mr. Lenape, okay? I picked you because you chose to show up every day last year and try your best with a smile on your face. And that's what got me logging on every day and got me through my first year of AP Bio. You were chasing your goals by putting in the work, sometimes twice a day. Sometimes you even showed up with munchkins for the class. You worked on your goals in the pool, your goals in the classroom, and you've never wavered. I know if I was up at that hour, I would have dozed off during some of those photosynthesis lessons if I were you. Never did you put your head down or have an off day when we transitioned to virtual learning last year. You still showed up with that enthusiasm and smile, and for that, I truly thank you. I will miss you terribly next year, but know we'll be rooting for you. Seton Hall is beyond lucky to have you. Go Pirates. Keep crushing those goals. And Miss Casey Bosler is next.
Good evening. I have had the pleasure of getting to know this student for the last 2 years. Although our conversations may not have always gone the way she would have liked, her maturity, insight, and articulation never cease to impress me. She is kind, compassionate, can certainly be stubborn at times, but is a fiercely loyal daughter, sister, and friend. I joke that she can be stubborn, but in reality, it is her pure grit that I have come to admire so much in her. She is the kind of person you would want to have your back. I know the best is yet to come for her, so for this reason and many more, Gianna Casanets deserves my People's Choice Award tonight. And next up is Mr. Larry Stripmatter.
RJ, come on up here. Everyone, this is Richard Curry. He's my People's Choice nominee. One of the joys teaching provides is the chance to quietly observe our students' growth for 1, 2, and sometimes even 4 years. A student can return to school 4 inches taller after a summer. Other times, braces are removed and a captivating smile is revealed. Other times, a new hairstyle exposes a brilliant and a creative mind. And other students, they literally just shine and change right in front of you. Sharing in this person's maturation and his growth is a wonderful gift. And it offers all of everyone here at Lenape High School an extraordinary journey with our students. It's been my pleasure to have been able to watch and observe RJ Curry grow while he's been a student at Lenape High School. And in spite of the strange senior year you've had, RJ, I need you to know that I'm very proud of the young man you've become. And I can't count the number of times other people in this building, staff, have shared the same sentiments about you. I foresee a bright future for you, RJ, as long as you continue to embrace your potential and the gifts you possess. All the best in your path beyond Lenape High School. You are a deserving People's Choice Award recipient. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Miss Nicole Escudero, and I think she knows who I picked. Miss Gabby Goldberg, come on up. Or should I say the Gabby Goldberg, since that's how I said it last time you were on this field. Gabby has the most contagious smile, even through a mask, charismatic attitude, and heart of gold. It has been a pleasure to watch Gabby grow into a young adult these past 4 years. Having Gabby as a freshman softball player, student in class, and as our field hockey manager, we have built a great rapport these past 4 years. Your shoes are irreplaceable, and I am certain there will be no one that comes close to making me laugh at any varsity hockey game like you. Gab, thank you for always being a great person. Please stay that way. Thank you for being willing to share some of your greatest high school memories and accomplishments with me. I'm so proud of you and of your 4 years here at Lenape. I'm so excited about the young woman you are becoming. Thanks. Next up, Miss Jessica Colton-Nicky.
Hannah, come on up. My People's Choice this year was a no-brainer. This student stood out to me since the first time I met her, and she continued to impress me and the 6 other paras in my class each day with her charming and outgoing personality. Hannah Ent has been the student I have literally tried to nominate for everything and anything because she deserves every acknowledgement. In today's world, people can easily be influenced by the media and their peers. Hannah is always true to herself with her beliefs, values, and genuine personality. Well, I was impressed with Hannah as our organized freshman manager, who turned into our fun, crazy, hardworking attacker, my personal favorite on the field. It was Hannah's involvement in volunteering with the adapted PE program that has enlightened her traits. Hannah's compassionate nature enables her to socialize and assist everyone in class. The students always look forward to seeing Hannah and are always more eager to participate when she is there. She impresses even the most responsible adults in the room. I'm so fortunate to have her assist me in class, as she plays a huge role in not only helping me plan, set up, and even teach the class. Her ability to work in the population of people with disabilities is very admirable. This quality will benefit her to success in her future. Watching Hannah throughout her 4 years at Lenape blossom into the strong, optimistic, diligent, and free spirit she is now has been so rewarding, as I know she will excel in whatever she sets her mind to, and her future will be as bright as her. Hannah, I'll miss you. Now, Mr. Eric Einbinder.
Good evening. My recipient is star student and most recently my dominant ultimate Frisbee teammate, Frank Streifler. For the past 2 years, I've had the pleasure of teaching Frank in physical education and health here at Lenape High School. Every day, whether it be online or in person, Frank is the first to class with a huge smile and great energy. He's always eager to learn and participate in class. I can always rely on you to raise your hand and contribute. In physical education, Frank loves to compete and brings his A game every single day. Whether it be basketball, football, cornhole, or kickball, Frank always plays hard with a big smile. Aside from being a great student, Frank is a great person. He is kind to all his peers. He is a main supporter of all things Lenape, and he is a very respectful young man. Every day when arriving to class, I look forward to our conversations about the Sixers, the recap of Lenape sports, and the occasional jab at the Jets. Come on, man. Frank embodies everything that this award stands for, and that is why he is my 2020-2021 recipient. I will miss having him in class next year, but I am excited for his very bright future. Continue making people smile, continue having a great attitude, and continue displaying your Lenape pride.
Hello, my name is Renee Hudson. I've had the pleasure of interpreting for Anthony Cachase for the last 4 years. There are so many reasons why I've chosen him for my People's Choice Award. Since day one of his freshman year, he has come to school ready to learn. His character and commitment to his education has impressed me tremendously. Anthony has maintained a high GPA, all while participating in extracurricular activities such as track and field, cross country, band, president of our sign language club, and working in an after-school job. However, his true passion, wrestling, has been the most inspiring to me to see. Anthony is in his element on the mat, and the love for this sport is contagious. It has given me pure joy watching him work so hard for the past 4 years to achieve his wrestling goals. The minute we start talking about wrestling, his face lights up. He smiles from ear to ear. This year, all of his hard work and dedication to the team has paid off, and he ended his Lenape career with an amazing season. Anthony is the type of student who takes pride of himself, his schoolwork, his commitment to his team, and therefore approaches everything he does with his whole heart. I hope he carries that amazing attitude with him for the rest of his life. Over the last 4 years, I've watched Anthony mature into an incredibly hardworking, dedicated, kind young man. Anthony never fails to make my day brighter and always makes me laugh. There are not enough words or signs to describe how much I'm going to miss him. His jokes, his funny responses like, yup, and his bright smiling face. I know he's going to do big things in his future at Rochester Institute of Technology. The university is lucky to have him on campus next year. Anthony, thank you for making these last 4 years extremely special.
I am just going to take a moment to close tonight's ceremony. Mr. Catani usually does this, but unfortunately he had to be at the board meeting tonight. But this is my absolute favorite night of the school year, and I think it's pretty easy to see why. For most people, this has been a challenging year to say the least. But after hearing all of the beautiful words tonight about your children and our Lenape students, it's pretty clear to see that this has also been an amazing year. Your kids are making a difference by inspiring those around them, and these simple acts of kindness, love, and perseverance have not gone unnoticed. On behalf of Renaissance, I would like to thank all of those involved in making this night so special. Thank you to the parents for raising these amazing children. Thank you to the Lenape staff, custodian teams, administration, including our athletic director, and our Renaissance Club members. To the students nominated this year, you've made an imprint on our lives, and I know that I speak for every staff member here tonight, and even those not, when I say how very proud I am of you all. Desmond Tutu once said, "Do a little bit of good where you are. It is those little bits of good put together that overwhelm the world." Well, I want to say that I hope you never stop overwhelming the world with your little bits of good, because you are making a difference. Please join me in one last round of applause for this year's People's Choice Award recipients. Congratulations and thank you, and have a great night. Be safe.